goodness, obviously we've had interesting, incredible, horrible situations occur, and this morning I woke up like you all did, and I saw that. So I don't want to sound shallow, but our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, and if there's anything we can do, we will. And it's a tough situation. Rutgers game, I'll give you the awards like we normally do. Defense, guys, great champions. Nick Bosa. Jonathan Cooper, was great to see him get extended action. Jalen Holmes, we moved him into 3 technique and played very well. Sam Hubbard, Taekwon Lewis, Chase Young, obviously a lot of defensive linemen that got the opportunity. Denzel Ward played very good. Damon Arnett and Jordan Fuller. So we're starting to see areas that needed to improve, improving. Player of the game was Dante Booker. It was great to see him have that opportunity and that sack and interception. On offense, you have Terry McLaurin, graded champion. Our overall receivers, I expected more out of our guys. Running backs, we had 3 of them. Mike Weber, great to have him back. J.K. Dobbins and Demario McCall. Offensive line, you had 2, Marco Jones and Billy Price. We expect that group to play better. And tight ends, Marcus Blah, because I think it's two weeks in a row. So he's got some momentum in his life and also on the field. We had co-players of the game, Johnny Dixon. Obviously, we all feel strong about him, the journey he's been on. And J.T. Barrett, obviously breaking our Schleister's record and had a very efficient game for us. Kicking game was outstanding. We had a nice kickoff return. And the kickoff team is getting back to the expectation level we have. We did make a change at kicker. Right now it looks like Nuremberg will be doing our kickoffs. We were not good at that position. Special efforts were Zach Jr. Tackle inside the, we had all kinds of tackles. Looks like we had 5 of them inside the 20-yard line, which is the average 10 yards per return. We had 5, even with support kicks. So these special efforts for tackles inside the 20 were Zach Jr., Austin Mack, Isaiah Pryor, Pete Warner, and Jeff Okuda, all very valuable members of our team. We call it Thursday race, and that's just extreme effort running down the field. That's Jeff Okuda, and the special teams player league. There's arguably say one of the most improved players on our team the last couple of weeks, and that's Pete Warner. And buy stock in that guy for his career. He's got some good stuff going right now. So that said, playing a very good Maryland team that beat Texas and came back with their 3rd-string quarterback and really looked much improved against Minnesota. And it's great to be back home, and I'll answer your questions for you.
Front row left, Mitch.
Urban, the passing game has looked better to everyone, I think. But considering who you play, how much better is it? I mean, are you seeing?
I think I made a comment. I forget how I said it, but I see improvement as well. This whole team is the good thing about this team and coaching staff. You're not walking around with blinders on, and we know exactly. We're optimistic and we're pleased with the progress, but we're also realistic. Where are we? And to answer your question, I think we've improved. Like you probably anybody can see we improved at when it comes time this week. Can we continue against very good competition?
Front row right, Bill.
Mike Weber came back, looked good. And Victor made some nice plays. Even McCall, even though he was 100%, made some plays. How good do you feel about the development and the sprouting, I guess, of playmakers right now?
I feel very good. I think once again, the question was asked. We're also very realistic. J.K. Dobbins, I think, only had 6 carries. We want to get him 12 to 15, but things happened, and all of a sudden you look up at the scoreboard and get him out of the game because there was no other reason that we pulled him out other than that. And say Mike Weber had 3 touchdowns, but we didn't get him loose. And so there's areas of improvement. To answer your question, I feel like the normal development of playmakers is taking place.
And what's the next step?
Do it against a better team like Maryland, who's a very good team, and that's the next step.
Front row middle, Dave.
There were 4 players that missed the Rutgers game. I want to ask you about. Touch on this briefly after the game, but we can go one by one. Draymond Jones, is he out?
He'll be back. He's out this week. We're anticipating Nebraska.
Okay. And then Chris Worley,
And he's probable this week.
Antonio Williams.
Questionable this week.
And the final one, Eric Smith. What's the
He's
latest?
got to handle his business. I don't believe he won't play this week. He's got to take care of his business.
Far right over here, Clay.
You mentioned Las Vegas. I noticed Tate and Haskell have tweeted this morning. Any particular interaction with them or
Not
anybody?
yet. Don't come in to see me. They're off today.
Oh,
As a matter of fact, I'll probably get with him right after this.
Far left, front row, Bill Landis.
Urban, obviously here and surely in Florida too, you guys recruited at a very high level, but before that, earlier in your career, can you explain to me how tough it is when you're in a recruiting battle and you think you might have a guy, you know that guy can be an instant impact starter for your team, and then he picks a program where he's going to go and get buried on the depth chart for whatever reason? How tough is that to hear that other program misses out on a potential starter?
Well, it's awful. You know, we've had guys, I remember at Utah, somebody'd have a kid up until the 3 days before signing day, and then USC would come in, or, you know, that's, I guess all my coaches would get mad at me. And I'd say, you know, don't get mad at the kid, what would you do? You know, if you had an opportunity to double your salary and go, you know, because Utah back then wasn't in the Pac-12. Obviously, I'm not ditching Utah, I'm just saying back then we're in the Mountain West Conference. And so don't get mad at the player, that's what you would do. So it was very frustrating, but I took a much different approach. You always have the B list once again, when I say Utah, they're Pac-12, they're on the same level now. Back then, or Bowling Green you have to have a B and a C list ready to go.
And then I guess the flip of that now would be when you're recruiting guys here at Ohio State, how often do you come against whoever you're going against selling early playing times because of the talent that you've accumulated? How much of a battle?
That comes up, but those are the guys that you don't want to recruit anyways. If that comes up, that much easier way to the field, then we'll help you make that decision. Don't come here.
Far left, Matt.
What does it tell you, like, Maryland this early in the season being on their third quarterback, and get a win like they got last weekend? Does that say anything about the coach on the team or how they're going to do what jumps out?
Well, Coach Durkin was my graduate assistant I met with our staff a minute ago, and he coached with me at Bowling Green, and he was a GA that I was ready to make full-time when he was 21 years old. And then I tried to hire him a couple other times, and then we got him in Florida, and he's an impact coach. And I think of all the guys I've had, he's one of the top 2 or 3 that I've ever had on our staff. And you see I just got done watching special teams, and it's a typical, extremely well-coached team where the guys go as hard as they possibly can. So I'm not surprised, but he's one of my favorite coaches we've ever had, one of the best coaches.
This may go back to exactly how you answered on the offense, but pass defense, are you seeing what you want to see, or is it?
I am. It's once again, we're realistic. This will be a nice challenge where they did a nice job with this quarterback that very efficient, very highly accurate, especially on the RPO and short passing. So this will be a better challenge. I have seen it. I think it's a lot like the pass game, where pleased with the progress when you start seeing, Jordan Fuller's playing at a very high level right now. And the corners are getting better and better and better, but we're also realistic.
Front row right here, Austin.
Urban, you've talked several times about wanting to see the results against a better level of competition. When you go through a stretch like the last 3 weeks, now that it's over, do you have to do anything as a coach to keep them focused when on paper you should win no matter what in those 3 weeks, if you know what I mean? Do you have to bring more energy yourself? How do you challenge guys when those are 3 weeks?
I think the coaching is more, it's not grammatically correct, it is coaching, it's almost cheerleading at some point when you're playing a noon game against a lesser team. The good thing about last week was that our players saw that what they did to Washington. It's almost every time as a coach you hope you see stuff on videotape, because the videotape will leave a bunch of smart guys in here. Smarter than coaches, because they know exactly who they're getting ready to go play. Their punt returner against Rutgers didn't play. We showed a 10-play highlight video of him that he's as good as anybody we've ever had as a returner. So videotape is the great motivator. And this week's, they went down to Austin, Texas, and then they beat Minnesota up at Minnesota. So to answer your question, yeah, it's unique. Sometimes we don't even show videotape as we're getting ready to play a team and make it about something else other than the game.
Yeah, I was just wondering, but it seemed like 2 weeks ago you kind of came into the stadium, he ran across the field, it was different high fives and hugs than normal. I just wondered if that's a conscious effort that you know it's a possibility. Maybe
If it was, I would not tell you.
Fair enough.
Second row middle, Jeremy.
Since Maryland and Rutgers joined the Big Ten, you guys have gone to New Jersey and Maryland, DMV area a lot more in recruiting. Now that DJ kind of has Maryland on the right track, is it harder for you with the money that Under Armour's putting into their program?
Absolutely.
Have you guys noticed more resistance there?
Yes, they're a formidable challenge. They always have been, because Maryland's got, it's kind of a nice place. There's a lot of DMV loyalty. We've got some very good players out of there, but I know the way he recruits, and there's really good players in that area.
In that area, you kind of keep Larry Johnson staying there as opposed to some of the other assistants that's more regional or more position-based. Is that part of the approach because of the loyalty to the DMV?
Yeah, because he's so well respected in that area. He gets, he knows the uncles, he knows the coaches, he loved the coaches there that played for him or he knew them as players, so he's just deeply ingrained in that area.
Front row left, Doug.
Urban, you mentioned Jalen Holmes moving inside for that game with Draymond out. I know you guys have the Rushman package, you have versatility on that one. Jake, can a lot of guys do that? I mean, it's like he was an end and he sort of became a package for a game.
Taekwon can do that as well. We play him in there sometimes. They got the body type. A lot of time Bosa, you probably don't want to get him in there, and then Sam Hubbard, you won't want to get in there. So it's it's a grown man position in there, and you can print to say Bosa and Hubbard aren't tough enough to get in there. Say Jerry and Nick said that. That's not true, of course, but I just think to answer your question, Jalen and Taekwon got the strength and the body type to get in there.
I mean, you have a lot of good players on that defensive line. Jalen really is he's a pretty versatile.
Oh, he's fantastic. And he's even a better person, a leader, and yeah, he's great.
And then one of the touches that you guys have hit this pass to Johnny a couple times. You have the routes that cross underneath and the receiver shuttles behind. It's been very effective. Why does it keep working?
That's Ryan Day brought that whole package to us. It's been really dynamic. It's been started against the big hits we had against Indiana were the same package. So about 7 or 8 different concepts off of that. So it's noticed, a lot of times I get questions about, when you hire a coach, do you let him enhance your offense? Ryan Day enhanced our offense. That's been very successful.
And final couple questioners. Second row right, Tony.
Urban, how do you feel the linebackers are playing this year? I know Dante, it was good to see him, but are they?
Not just okay. I think the last week, when you start listing, I complimented Coach Davis about the energy, about you should see the meeting room yesterday when Hilliard and Zach Turnier and Pete Werner or Barron Browning are game changers on special teams, and then your backers start playing like they did. That's power of the unit. That unit's got some momentum right now.
You've got several players that are sort of, are they reaching up to the starters, or the starters not distancing themselves from?
No, the recruiting classes the last 2 years have been good. They're pushing. We're nipping at the, I made a comment. I don't want to think Pete Werner should be somewhere. What he's been doing the last few weeks, he's fast as you know what. He's a great kid. He's tough as anybody. So.
And final set of questions. Front row, Tim.
Yeah, Urban, as you look at your offense right now, we've been asking this for a while, but do you now really truly envision both running backs, I'm talking about your top 2 running backs on the field at the same time at some point? And what does that give you from a flexibility standpoint?
It's fantastic, and he's been cleared, and he played extended time, so we're putting together the 20 grouping or 21 grouping, and that's 2 backs, 1 tight end, 2 backs, and 1 tight end. And so that's just if they're best 11, and I do that myself each week. Who are your best 11 players? If they're in the best 11, which right now they are, get them on the field.
Terry McLaurin had 2 15-yard penalties on the same play, but he was a champion. How did he resurrect his score, I guess? I mean,
It was a head coach's decision, because
Yeah.
I like Terry.
But then on top of that, I mean,
Sure. If I didn't like him, he would
Yeah.
have been great.
what did he bring, I guess, to the table besides that?
Same thing he brings every day. And we don't want to condone that, and I had a little chat with him, but you guys probably know Terry.
Yeah.
You know, he's everything you want, and don't do that. But there was a cheap shot on him early in the game, bad one. And a tough guy like that carried with him for a while.
Yeah, it seemed like it did. And the other thing, do you see your receivers, for one of another word, playing with a little bit of a nasty streak now that maybe they didn't have? I mean,
I see that.
You see that evolving?
Yeah, I'm just disappointed though, early in the game, we didn't make them, you know, we had a couple opportunities, we didn't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see very tough, one of the toughest groups we've ever had at that position. I mean, I'm talking about 16 years, those guys are tough guys. And it's led by Terry and Parrish. Through the, you know, cultures drive the, leaders drive the culture, which drives the behavior, and they're driving it.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.